Over the past year, 1 in 3 condo owners in Manhattan who sold at a loss. Now, with the election of Mamdani, there are reports that the wealthy could flee even more, going to the suburbs or places like Florida or Texas. But the real reason why Manhattan real estate has been flat over the past decade and what the wealthy are really doing is a bit more nuanced.
I think prices got too high and they've had to come down. So of course people lost money.
And you're reading about $100 million transactions, but those are largely detached from everyday New Yorkers.
Condominiums have often been looked at as a way for overseas investors to park money.
Yeah, it's
individual ROI you get on an investment unit is
a parking lot,
trivial, to be perfectly honest.
Right.
Right. Look at that. Look at that. I mean,
if we pan out and look at the Manhattan market over 10, 20 years, what's happened with prices over that time? Did people make money, especially when you compare it to some of the hotter markets?
Yeah, I think Manhattan has pretty much been flat. I don't think that people have like cashed in, sold their apartments and made money. That just hasn't happened.
Investors track prices per square foot to compare properties. In 2015, 1 square foot of space cost over $1,500 in Manhattan. By 2025, prices had fallen to around $1,100 per square foot, according to Redfin data. That's still quite high compared to the rest of the country.
Okay, guys, looking at this graph here, like understand what was going on specifically in Manhattan during this era, like this age right here. Look at this date here, right? When that happened, obviously New York was completely under what seemed to be, I guess, martial law of sorts here, guys. Can't go outside, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, things were starting to kind of, get better in the earlier stages here. And then obviously people were trying to leave New York because they were stuck in the house. They didn't want to be in the house any longer. Then obviously when the incident, let's say, slowed down, right? People started buying again here. Now, what happened immediately here? This is the bubble, right? And I'm not sure that people have ever even honestly made money ever since 2022, truth be told here. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from like the real estate market, at least right now, in certain cities. Like if you bought a house or a condo specifically in Manhattan, in Las Vegas in 2022, you'll never make that money back, bro. Congratulations, you played yourself.
This is like a townhouse in the sky, and it's got a beautiful outdoor space. And the maintenance here, the monthly costs are $10,000 a month.
Wow,
Asking
okay.
price is $9.325 million.
Uh-huh.
Long term.
Keep that.
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably make a little bit of money, possibly, depending on what you buy. But I don't think people buy to do that. I mean, they want to buy something that maintains its value. And hopefully when they sell it, they can make a little bit of money. But I don't think it's for that. It's not for...
Bro, do you have a pillow in your $10 million condo that says Nepo baby? Oh, jeez, guys.
Flipping purposes.
Today, 72% of condos sold in Manhattan are selling
Of course
under
they are.
list price.
Under list from
Only so much
2022.
of a demand pool that exists out there for these properties. You take places like 57th Street. 57th Street became Billionaires Row. Now, if you go look at these tall skyscrapers, where's your demographic there? Billionaires all over the world. You've had a significant decline over the years in foreign capital coming in. It's still coming in, but not in the droves that it was, back in the day.
Most people care about mortgage rates. They have to get a mortgage to buy their home.
Right.
We're fortunate in that a lot of people are able to buy their homes with cash.
And that's why the market didn't decline as much as the rest of the country.
It's not the
Since
normal
the Fed pivot in
group
2022,
of people, guys.
pushing rates higher. What we are seeing is a tremendous amount of affluent buyers coming into New York City, and the affluent aren't relying on interest rates, they're relying on cash.
Most Manhattan condos are purchased all cash.
It shows you that we are in such a discretionary market. This is not America. The rest, they say if you leave New York City, you have to live in America. And I think
That's kind of what it felt like when I left New York. I'm gonna be honest here. Like living in New York and growing up in New York, specifically on Long Island, but visiting obviously Manhattan on a regular basis here. you kind of start to realize that outside of New York is like real America. Like outside of, let's say, Los Angeles and generally California in general here, that's the real America. Like what represents us as a whole is not New York City, is not Chicago, bro. It is not Miami, and it is not LA.
I think that's true because this is a different environment.
Well said.
Buyers who need a mortgage to purchase in Manhattan are looking at rates over 6%. This leaves many of them waiting on the sidelines.
Jeez.
I would equate the last 3 years of low activity
8,000?
interest rates. Most consumers who rely
For
upon
roaches?
obtaining financing to acquire a home
And the smell of
were
urine?
priced out of the market because the price
Guys.
appreciation, along with the record level debt service, just made it completely cost prohibitive for them. And that's actually why rents went up so much, because people couldn't afford to buy.
The losses in Manhattan condos may be one reason that even the wealthy are choosing to rent.
First-time home buyers today, the average age is 40 years old. That's, it's heinous that's what we've come to. The buying side, I'm seeing more of that, people in their early 30s. And they're getting a little bit of help with it from their parents as well.
Right, generally.
Condo buyers pay transaction costs, maintenance fees, and property taxes, all of which eat into returns.
So in New York City, our closing costs are tremendously high. And part of that is to disincentivize flipping of properties. You have brokerage commission between 5 to 6%. And you pay New York City transfer tax of 1.425%. You pay New York State transfer tax, and a lot of buildings have exit fees as well. You're talking north of 10%. And that's before you get to paying any gains taxes. So you have to make a decent return in order to even just cover the exit fees.
From a return on investment, I think there's probably more upside over the next 10 years than the last 10 years. With elevated interest rates, we're going to see a lower level of production of condominiums, especially luxury condominiums, which is going to make them more expensive.
Let's go. Next
New
chapter.
York is more dependent than ever on the very wealthy. The top 1% of earners pay more than 40% of all income taxes. The average sale price for Manhattan real estate is nearly $2 million. Most condos sold sell for over $1.5 million. Tell us about who those luxury buyers are.
A lot of them are in New York. They're New Yorkers who are going from uptown to downtown, empty nesters, some of that, younger families, moving from places, from California to New York, a little bit of that, not so much international. The luxury market has done so well this year, and I think people made a lot of money.
Wall Street calls it the K-shaped economy. Lower income Americans are cutting back, while the wealthy are doing most of the spending.
I'm shocked by the level of luxury buying and commitment to the city. We were hearing about this seismic shift post Mamdani, and that didn't happen. In fact, we're seeing the opposite.
New York City Mayor-elect Mamdani promises to tax the rich and freeze the rent.
You're looking at 3 to 4 years of zero rent increases for rent-stabilized tenants. That's about 1 million rental units. There's about 1.2 million rental units that are open market. And so what that's going to cause landlords to do is push expenses on the buildings they control as an entity, push rents higher for
they're going to get higher.
market
In
tenants.
fact,
19% of New Yorkers plan to leave the city over the next 5 years. The top factors: housing affordability, crime and safety, living space, taxes, amenities, and job opportunities. That said, 55% of New Yorkers polled before the election plan to stay.
So I think people buy things depending on their situation. Am I moving here? Am I having a baby? Is somebody pass away? And then they decide what they're going to do. And that's really real estate in a nutshell. People don't go, it's a good time, let me invest my money. Typically, they don't do that. Even in Manhattan, they buy because they have a need. So can you afford it? Does it make sense? Is it the home of your dreams? Does it meet your needs? Is it close to your kids' school?
Yeah, guys, get out of here.
Subway? Those
Get out of here
questions
immediately.
You ask yourself. And is it what you want? If not, maybe rent for a little while and
that's
decide
definitely
a little bit later.
New York, bro. Okay, guys, listen. I am not a fan. All right, like I grew up in New York. All these other things here, guys. I am not a fan. I know more people now. By my age, currently, I'm 38, and for the next 6 days, and I'll be 39. Right, but the amount of people that I grew up with, specifically, that have left New York for good, is more than the people who decided to stay. But I do understand that New York is an interesting place, right? Like, I mean, being there, growing up there, existing kind of within that space, you kind of start to like believe everything else is bad, if that makes any sense. Like everything else is, nothing is going to be like this. You don't want anything to be like this, bro. I'm going to be honest here. That may sound crazy here. You don't want the town that you're moving to, like after you leave New York or like anywhere in New York, to be anything like New York. That's the reality here. Like you want to get out and go to the literal exact opposite, bro. Find a rural place and exist within it, right? But leave all your New York nonsense back in New York, bro. Truth be told, no one wants it. No one cares. You get what I'm saying here, guys? The prices of the real estate itself is wild. It's always been crazy, guys. The fact that you're trying to freeze the rent, like in an environment specifically where people are having to pay crazy amount of taxes. Basically, everything is a business, right? If you want to see what government funded housing looks like, look at projects, like housing projects, right? Like if you want that, then do that. If you want the private market to come in and basically maintain the property, then you cannot, in fact, remove all bits of profit specifically from that structure, or just like the lady said here, right? Or the other properties that they do control, the rent's going to go up to basically fix the problem that Mamdani is going to end up creating here. All right. I understand the idea. You want to freeze rents for people in like one of the world's most expensive cities, if not the world's most expensive city to live in. Okay. You want to fix it. I truthfully think if you can't afford to live in the area, you should probably not live in the area. I would say empty out the New York City, empty it out, leave it for the tourists, bro. All right. Leave it for them. And the billionaires, okay? I think that's kind of where that is here. Get out of New York immediately, all right? Go anywhere else. Get out of New York, all right? Let Mamdani tax himself, guys, okay? That's kind of where I'm at on that one there. Do I think the condo prices are ever going to make any type of money? No, because the market has kind of already spoken here, right? The average person cannot afford to live anywhere near that. If we're hearing if the average person is making less than $100,000, how are they going to afford a $10,000 rent, bro? All right, make that make sense. You can't. All right, so just leave. Get out of this absolute hellish landscape. All right, do you like the smell of urine that much, bro? Do you like it? Do you like the smell of exhaust fumes that much, bro? Get out of that place.
Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to like promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies. And I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings. And we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry, right? Listen, like and subscribe.